In a faraway place in West Bengal, India, is Sridham Mayapur, a holy place for the Hare Krishna devotees. 500 odd years ago, this method of spiritual movement took shape in this quiet countryside before spreading to the rest of the world. Over the last 50 years, this small countryside has grown into a medium sized town, and in the next 50 years, it will be one of the biggest pilgrimage sites of the world and a world wonder. Devotees who live here need to ensure that they not only maintain the greenery around but also develop sustainable agriculture. As the world comes crashing down economically and morally, there will be severe shortages of food across the world. One day, Mayapur will house at least 50,000 devotees, and we cannot depend on outside sources for our food or livelihood. We must learn to use the land wisely and grow grains, vegetables, and fruits. Living in Mayapur doesn't mean living in a resort. We don't come here for holidays. Our aim is to lead a simple spiritual life and live according to Dharma. This means devotees living together to pray, to serve, to study, to protect cows, to run farms, and be self sufficient. Goranga Gardens is a project where the community members cultivate the land and share the crops with the deities, the volunteers, and the elderly. It's a step towards self reliance in Mayapur and a way to materialize Srila Prabhupada's vision of devotees working on the land producing food. At the moment, it's a small scale project, but those working on it have big dreams. Currently, the project is run by few volunteers who turn up to help with various tasks in the garden.
See? And it's very important, otherwise you get very small carrots. And like here, typically you have four of them. The two in the carrots here. So. Okay, sure. There's a lot of sand here.
Really?
Yeah, I trans.
It's easier to see with the big ones.
like this one especially. The
This
small
one,
one.
the
Yeah.
small one.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the really small ones.
What has the interest been from devotees to help you with this initiative in terms of volunteering? What are the
I
problems?
think here, anyone can feel being part of the fundamental base of the community. That's the starting point of everything. When you produce your food, it's really the starting point of everything. Like whatever, like even if you do prasadam feast, it comes from here. If you wanna, what we offer to the deities comes from here. Like it's the base of everything. So if you participate in this project, you can feel being part of the very fundamental, basement of the project here in Mayapur.
Steve is another committed member.
Hare Krishna. I think I was asked about the importance of self-sufficiency and in particular for devotees, and I think that it's important really for everybody because everybody eats, and I think to not have some knowledge about how to create the food that we eat leaves us, vulnerable to, I think, industry, and also makes us dependent on farming practices that maybe are not that healthy. When we buy food in the grocery store, we usually or actually really never know the origin and how it was farmed, if it was farmed with pesticides, herbicides, and these things, as most people know, are not really healthy. So when you have the knowledge of how to create your own food supply, I think that is important for our health, and also important to not have the anxiety about where you're going to get your next meal. Maybe I think this year in 2020 has created a lot of financial hardships for people that can really make us anxious about not only how are we going to pay our bills, but how are we going to pay for our food. So starting your own garden, having some knowledge and getting together with somebody that already has more knowledge than you is an easy way to learn. And of course we have tools like YouTube that can teach practically anything these days. Certainly there's lots of farming information on YouTube. I learned quite a bit. Anytime I'm planting something new that I've never had experience with, the first thing I do is go to YouTube, watch 2 or 3 videos, enough to get you started. And of course experience is the best teacher, so the next step is to actually try it. Don't worry about failing. Failing is also a good teacher. So the most important thing is to get started, get your hands dirty, learn how to grow your own food.
How do you juggle your devotional life, your family life, and your farming life?
Well, here I don't have any economic pressure, so it's okay. Because I can just do the needful and then be back home when I want and when I need. Now that I have a son, I wake up even earlier. I'm trying to, but it's a personal choice. It's like, as people that listen to this probably knows, when you have children, you don't really choose the way you share your time. You just adapt. I don't feel like farming here. I feel like gardening. Because I've been farming in the past, and farming you have money pressure, you have all these requirements, so it's completely different. And you have a lot of stress. Here there's no really stress, it's more we do what we can do, and it's very flexible. Very flexible. Thanks to ISKCON giving this land.
Most devotees understand the importance of growing their own food, but the lack of skills combined with the fear of hard work involved is stopping many from getting started. Perhaps we could look at employing the professional farmers while we manage the logistics and train them on best practices. What is required, though, are volunteers who can give some of their time and enthusiasm for such projects. Hridaya Chaitanya, for one, would love a couple more hands ASAP.
So if you come here as volunteers, basically now it's very relaxed because the garden is settled already. So you will have different tasks to do according to your capacity, according to your taste also. And there's many different crops, so it's very diversified. And you can come whatever time you want. You just if you come, you just check with me. I'm kind of micromanaging the project here, and we can find tasks for you that can be suitable for your capacity and your personality even. So if you want to learn how to farm, if you already have experience and you want to carry on farming, and if you want to even improve your skills in farming, you can just come here to experiment, and you will also have this beautiful feeling of getting 25% of the crop to Radha Madhava, so you feel part of something bigger. So you're more than welcome. Please come and participate in Gauranga Garden.
Mayapur surely needs more devotees, both locally and from all over the world, to build and preserve our farms, our gardens, and other foundational aspects required for a self-sufficient community.
My point of view, but it's really personal, I think the global situation will kind of force people to farm in any way. Like, it won't be a hobby anymore, it won't be a choice. It won't be a hobby anymore, it will be a need. I think this is the future. We will have to learn, and we'll have to farm ourselves, because the way the world will go will kind of force us. That's what I think. Because food doesn't grow in the supermarket, in any case. That's all.